You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hopefully you joined us yesterday where we answered about 6 or 7 of our community's questions about food sensitivities, about glutamine support and leaky gut, talked a little bit about panchakarma, detoxification. We went through zeolites and other detox-based factors, the CBO protocol, what to do after your transition off of it. So much information. Hopefully you're able to tune into that show. That was episode 1401. Just head on over to stephencabral.com/1401 for that show. Now, today is episode 1402, so I'm sure you guessed that. 1402 is today's show. We have many more questions from our community to go through today. These ones start on October 24th. So if your question came in after October 24th, we will absolutely be getting to you. We're currently just about, it looks like we're about 6 weeks behind. So again, happy to answer those questions. Really enjoy reading what our community is looking to solve in terms of their wellness, weight loss, or anti-aging based mysteries. And I'm happy to provide you with my experience, what I've seen in my practice, and how we've helped people to heal. So let us get right into today's questions. The first one today is going to be from Beck. And Beck's asking, hi, Dr. Cabral. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for absolutely everything that you do to help others. You're amazing, and I love your positive and high vibe approach to health and nutrition. My question is, I've already done the CBO, and I'm about to repeat it in order to fully remove the Candida bacteria. I tried the Heal and Seal for 2 months, but was getting a histamine reaction and I had to stop. Is there another product I can take for the Heal and Seal? I'm taking 5 grams of glutamine and extra zinc. I was hoping there might be another product that I could use to have all the necessary ingredients, then trying to source them all separately. Thank you so much. Beck, really great question. Yeah, so every once in a while, someone won't be able to do the cacao powder, the chocolate flavoring. And even though it's very small, again, there's this bio-individuality. So absolutely. But here's the thing, Beck. I want you to email support@equilibriumnutrition.com for a question like this, only because you wrote in on October 24th. I'm not helping you until December, 7th. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your answers right away. So my team can answer these for you because, again, this is not from an ego-based perspective, but we've now done this over 250,000 times. That's a quarter, it's well over that. It's got to be, I did stop counting, so I don't know anymore. But, it has to be over 300,000 appointments. And so I just want you to know that everyone doesn't have to ask me because my team has heard me answer these questions many times. So again, I'm happy to answer this. I just want you to get your help right when you need it. So absolutely, you can do the 5 grams of glutamine. You can do 75 of the micrograms of the zinc carnosine. That's correct. It's 37.5 per capsule. If you want to mimic it exactly, there would be aloe vera, powder extract, organic, and then it would be the N-acetyl D-glucosamine, which is really good for, again, repairing that gut-based wall. And then there is also DGL, which is deglycerized licorice root. All of those that are very soothing for the gut mucosa. But remember, glutamine and zinc carnosine are going to help you build back up that gut wall. We just put it all in one product. When we use, and so will the N-acetyl glucosamine. And the DGL and the aloe vera actually help to calm the mucosa rather than help to really rebuild it. They're great more at calming the inflammation, balancing healthy levels of inflammation, because remember, on our podcast, we don't cure, treat, or diagnose any disease, right? We're talking about healing the body at an underlying root causal level. All right, thanks for writing in, Beck. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, looks like Beck's up again. Second question. Hi again, Dr. Cabral. I have another question. As I mentioned, I'm going to do the CBO again shortly, doing the parasite cleanse first. I'm very underweight and know from my organic acids test, I did the Big 5 test, that I have high oxalates. I also seem to react to lectins and high FODMAP foods. So a very leaky gut all around. I'm worried that following the sensitive gut guide diet strictly for 3 weeks, then it is likely I will lose even more weight. I tried upping my starchy carbs last time, but unfortunately that caused a lot more bloating. Do you have any advice? Thank you so much. Beck, appreciate you writing in. These are great questions. They really are. But again, you can email my team. They'll give you that support. But let me walk you through this though. So an easy way to increase calories, if you can increase your starch, is to first do just a little bit more at each meal. A lot of people try to do a big meal. Well, if it's difficult when your digestion is not optimal. So you do a little bit more at breakfast, a little bit more at lunch, a little bit more at dinner. And if someone really needs to add more weight, what we do is we add a little bit more of a liquid-based fat. And the reason is that just a tablespoon, this is why, again, these are hidden calories. 1 tablespoon of even a healthy fat like olive oil, just one tablespoon. Think about how little that is when you pour it on your food. One little sploosh. It's 120 calories. It's crazy, but that's 120 calories. So guess what? 3 of those, which is super simple to use, 360 calories. You can see I'm good with simple math. So when you look at that, 360 calories, that can add up fast. So what you could do, Beck, is simply add 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil more to each meal. And that's going to give you for the day 500 calories. I don't like to go overboard with that either, but it's again, you can do things in the short term that you may not do in the long term. And then as your digestion improves and you can eat more of the healthy starches, well then, yes, you don't need as much of that liquid-based fat. Now, it doesn't just have to be olive oil. You could use any healthy fat that you want. Maybe it's avocado. Maybe that works for you. So you'll find what works for you, and that's an easy way to increase it. And then if you're still losing weight, like too much for a healthy body, then you'll simply space out your meals more, and you'll do a mid-afternoon snack that's easy to digest. So you'll do maybe like a 7:30 a.m. meal, an 11:30 a.m., a 3:30 p.m., and then maybe a 6 o'clock, 6:30 p.m., right? So that's what you would do. All right. Thanks, Beck, and appreciate the kind words. Gina's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm extremely grateful for all the knowledge you share, and you have given me the tools to ensure that my family lives much healthier lives. I know that you have spoken about Lyme before and won't have time to explain all of it in a podcast, but I'm desperate for help. I'd love to have some type of protocol to follow to get rid of any co-infections. You said healing the aftermath can be done in as little as a few months' time. This information would be invaluable for me. I believe that I've already gotten rid of a lot of the co-infections since viruses, bacteria, and pathogens don't always show up. I was also exposed to mold. This is a longer question. You can read the whole question today at episode 1402, StephenCabral.com/1402. Gina goes on to say, I've done the CBO protocol, although I'm highly reactive to many supplement ingredients. All right, let me just change that there. Apologies. Such as chamomile, and I get lightheadedness. I've done other labs through other companies. They all come back clear, which is why I know I need to move on to the aftermath of Lyme. How can I do this if I pretty much every supplement of food, if I react to pretty much every supplement or food? Okay, so let's get into it because I've worked with many people like you, Gina, before in the past. So really what we're working on is, like you said, the aftermath. So we work with people with, again, we don't treat Lyme disease. We work on the underlying root cause level of why the body and the immune system are not functioning well, and then why the mitochondria is damaged, whether it's from doxycycline use, antibiotic use, etc. So essentially we do want to clean up the gut. There's no doubt about that. We want to make sure that you're absorbing all the nutrients that you need, getting all of your vitamins and minerals. So I need to see your vitamin and mineral levels. I mean, I would recommend becoming a private wellness client in our practice. I will oversee your labs. I'll oversee a lot of those recommendations. That would be first choice. Second choice would be simply running the starter kit so we could look at your vitamin and mineral levels and heavy metals. And if those are good, then we say, great, you're in range for those. You're doing great. So here's what we need to do. Now we need to work on a customized nutrition plan for you because you're clearly more Th2 dominant. You're more susceptible to reactions to herbs and plant-based foods and all of that. That's what's going on here. So we get that. And so what we need to do is temper and balance the immune system. And then we also need to work on mitochondrial mitochondrial health? Well, mitochondrial health is not really a mystery. The only thing is that mitochondria get better over a period of about 12 to 16 weeks, and they get better every 12 to 16 weeks. So typically a lot of the people that you're in right now, they kind of fall into that myalgic encephalitis base camp where they're worn out because their mitochondria are worn out. So we begin to rebuild those through the nutrients that your body needs. And again, the starter kit tells us, the starter kit lab kit tells us what those are. Is it B12? Is it coenzyme Q10? And it tells us that. So we need to know that. So that's what I would do. And then just make sure for sure that you clear up your mold, because that's going to wear out your immune system. So what we do for Lyme and a lot of other issues like this, Epstein-Barr virus, is we look at what are the energy leaks in the body. So again, there's two ways to go about this. So one, Gina, we could give you a boost in mitochondria through D-ribose, ubiquinol, activated B complex, a little bit of magnesium, definitely some alkalizing vitamin C. Like, we'll do those things and you'll feel a boost and good. You know, we might use adrenal energy support, but here's the deal. I don't want to boost energy if there's energy leaks, because I never patched up the hole in the boat. So I can be bailing out the water by giving you energy, but I don't want the water to keep coming back in. That's exhausting. I'm going to burn out your body. So here's the thing. If I figure out what's wrong with the body, then I'll work on that, and then I'll give you the energy things at the same time, because I know I'm working on patching up the boat so I can still bail out the boat at the same time. So that's how we go about helping people. I think it's a more compassionate way of helping people so that we can alleviate the symptoms while still working on the underlying root causes. Hopefully, Gina, that was helpful. So again, just making sure there's no energy leaks, and that's viruses, that's the immune system, that's mold, that's Candida, SIBO, parasites, etc. And if those are gone, good. The energy leaks are gone. Now let's build up the body. All right. Raya is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I just listened to podcast 436. One of the topics in the podcast is the dangers of tattoo ink. I have a large color tattoo on my arm ever since I got it 2.5 years ago. My health has drastically declined. I've done heavy metals, which showed only slightly heightened lead, and nothing else noteworthy. I would love to do the Dr. Cabral detox, but my head feels like it's going to blow up anytime I ingest stevia leaf, even the organic, pure kind. What alternatives can I use, and what else can I do? I read that tattoo ink can also have dye or lymph nodes, meaning like the dye can get into your lymph system. How can I detox as much of that out of my body? Detox my lymph? What needs to be done? I tried bentonite clay masks on the tattoo with no results. I've been using milk thistle, dandelion root, L-glutamine, and also cysteine from my health, and it seems to get worse every month. I also go to the sauna, exercise, and don't eat any processed foods. Thank you for your support and knowledge you share. Okay, couple things we can do. Tattoos, they're going to be giving off ink for quite some time, especially when they're new. Now, I know you got yours 2.5 years ago. So you're doing the right things. Exercise, sauna, and then you're supporting it with things such as L-glutamine, milk thistle, etc. Okay, but here's what I want you to do, because in this scenario, I just created this, and so you wrote this on October 26th. It didn't debut before then. I have a free detox course, and I'm going to make sure this works. equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. That will take you to my free functional medicine detox course that's going to teach you exactly how a detox works and how to complete it. Now, you have the option of using the Dr. Cabral Detox, the Equilibrium Nutrition Detox, or whatever you want to call it, or I give you other products to use. So in your case, you can use those other products. Remember, I am not here to sell nutritional supplements. I am not here to sell lab testing. I am here to help people heal and get well. That's the bottom line. I've just found a way to replicate our Boston practice where we were doing 20,000 appointments a year and share that with the world in an easier, less expensive way. Typically, you'd pay $500 for an appointment with a functional medicine doctor. They would then set you up with all the lab testing. Then you would come back in and you would go over the results, and then you would get on a nutritional supplement and exercise, whatever might be planned. Then you would do your follow-ups. What we've done is we've just essentially taken that virtual. And again, the plan that I just talked about works. Coming into your doctor, doing an intake, but there's another way. And that is actually just getting those labs, testing, and making sure that you're good and getting a plan with that. So it's kind of like all in one session instead of spreading it out. anyway, I want people to do what's best for them. And that's what I teach in the Detox course. So Raya, you will find the additional recommendations. I would just love to rattle them off, but there's actually 10. So you'll get all of the links right inside of that course. You get instant access that day. There's nothing held back at all. So again, enjoy, and hopefully we can help. Okay, Mike is up next. Dr. Cabral, first I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Your generosity is boundless. Have you ever covered ankylosing spondylitis in a podcast? I searched and did not have any luck. My 25-year-old son has been diagnosed with it. I would love to hear your viewpoint on it. What tests would you recommend to discover the possible underlying root causes? Is there a specific dietary restrictions or supplements that would be beneficial? Thank you so much. You are the man. I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you for the kind words. Obviously, that means a lot to me. And I never get to meet anybody. Like, that's the crazy thing. I don't get to meet anybody. I talk with everybody virtually, but I appreciate, these kind words. So what I want to do is, yes, we've worked with people with ankylosing spondylitis, which is essentially, let's break down what it is. It's inflammatory arthritis, right? So it's not different necessarily from like even maybe a rheumatoid arthritis, but it affects the spine, right? The spine for the most part. We mainly see it in the spine. It's possible that it can affect other joints as well. There's no doubt about it, but typically there's a vertebrae. Vertebrae are the bones surrounding the spinal column. It's not the best way to describe that. How do we describe that? The brainstem connecting to your spinal cord. There we go. Okay, so the bones, the vertebrae, protect the spinal cord. So we have inflammation typically of those vertebrae, oftentimes in the lower back. So remember, this is an inflammatory-based condition, an inflammatory-based dis-ease of the body. So that's why I don't treat disease and never will. And that's because really in this case, we need to figure out why is it that your 25-year-old son has this inflammation. Now, inflammation affects me differently. It affects my thumb joints with rheumatoid arthritis when I had that, many other issues. I won't go through myself right now. So here's the thing. Is he sensitive to gluten? Is he sensitive to eggs? Is he sensitive to dairy? It could be a reason why. Does he have parasites, Candida overgrowth, bacteria overgrowth? Does he have mercury buildup, aluminum? Does he have a viral component to this? Did he get Lyme-based disease? So I'm just asking, okay, ankylosing spondylosis means nothing to me. It doesn't. I can't help you with that because it's just a name. I need to know what's causing the inflammation that's targeting now the spine. That's your Achilles heel. Again, my Achilles heel goes to my adrenals. Goes to my adrenals, and it goes to my sinuses, where I've had all sorts of issues 15 years ago with adenoids and tonsils, etc. So everybody has their Achilles heel, but that doesn't mean we have to have that. Listen, I don't have those issues anymore. I had them, and if I didn't live properly, they would come back. Make no mistake about it. That's part of my genetic code. But if I live properly, they don't manifest. Okay. So all I can recommend, Mike, for your son is that he run the Big 5 ideally. And if you can, add the stool test to that. Now, again, the only reason you wouldn't run the Big 5 plus the stool is finances. And I get that. Listen, when I first started out, my parents and I had no money. I was 17, so I don't have any money, So, but we only said, okay, we can afford this lab at this time. And we just worked our way up. Now, that's why if you can do them at once, though, you get all of the data at once. If you can only do 2, well, you start with the starter kit. That's what it's all about. The starter kit is where you start. And that is going to look at your gut function, your vitamin, your detox, your neurotransmitters. It's a great test. And then that's what we used to call the organic acids test formerly. And then we're doing the minerals and metals test. We're going to look at mineral levels. We're going to look at stress through that. We're going to look at electrolyte function. And we're going to look at heavy metals. Great place to start. But then with the Big 5, you would add on the food sensitivity. You would add on the omega-3. Huge, right? What if he's a 13-1 in terms of omega-6 to omega-3s? Well, there's a reason for inflammation. So again, you can figure this out. You really can. I just want people to know that. You should have hope. This isn't just me saying that. You can figure out the diseases that we are riddled with in our society because inflammation is not a disease. It's just not. Inflammation is a symptom of a deeper underlying root issue. So yes, someone can have the ankylosing spondylitis, someone can have rheumatoid arthritis, another person Hashimoto's, another person MS, migraines, psoriasis, eczema, you name it. But they can have the same type of underlying root cause issue. And if you read the rain barrel effect, you read the different types of causes for that. Stress is one of them. But the nice thing is that there's only so many things to look at. And when we find out what is off, we begin to correct that. And then this made up name that we give a disease, well, that goes away. And the reason it goes away is because it didn't exist in the first place. Meaning, like, yes, the symptoms exist, but the disease itself is a name. When you rebalance the things that caused the dis-ease in the body, well, then we're able to right the ship. Then we're able to patch the boat while at the same time bailing it out so that you don't have to deal with all of the debilitating symptoms of having these autoimmune-based issues or inflammatory-based issues. So hopefully that was helpful, Mike. I know that you, and as long as your son is open to it, are on the right path, and that you will figure this out. It's simply a matter of time, a matter of when, not a matter of if you will figure it out. So thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize. Today's show is going to be just a little bit shorter than typical, and that is because I practice what I preach. I'm actually in between. I had a nice little spare 30 minutes, and I try to use it wisely. So I'm recording this show in between private wellness concierge clients right now. I'm off to my next appointment. And so, again, just trying to practice what I preach. A little bit shorter today, but I did want to fit it in. So I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. And we will pick back up on our house calls next weekend, right where we left off. Take care. Hope you've had an amazing weekend. I'll talk with you tomorrow on our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Don't miss it. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.